You're listening to the Sales Success Stories podcast, where we deconstruct world-class sales performers to provide insights and strategies to help you improve. To learn more, visit us at top1.fm. Here's your host, Scott Ingram.
Today on the Sales Success Stories podcast, I've got another story from the book for you. Since there are 60 stories in the book, at this rate, it will take over a year to share half the book with you. So keep listening and I'll keep sharing them. But if you're not quite that patient, I hope you'll pick up your own copy of the book or get it on Audible so you can read or listen to them all together. Links to all the formats are available at top1.fm/book. Now, over the last few weeks, based on a keynote that I gave and some other questions I've received, it seems like discovery is a really hot topic at the moment. So here's a story from the Queen of Discovery, Debbie Rapson.
Story 51, Discovery is Not Just One Step in the Process, by Deb Rapson. During my 30 years in sales, I have honed the science and art of my discovery process to ensure that when I ask for the business, it never falls flat. Today, decisions are made through consensus, and unlike the past, discovery is not done solely with one or two key stakeholders, but rather everyone on the decision-making team. Typically, that's between 8 and 12 people. Coming to those discussions with a thorough understanding of the company's firmographics, both their corporate initiatives and strategies, will help familiarize you with a high-level understanding of that company's current state. Luckily, we have many easy ways to conduct such research today, and the best salespeople do their legwork before they ever reach out to ask for the meeting. Educating oneself about a prospect prior to meeting with them, well, it's absolutely crucial to the sales process, and it can boost one's odds of landing a sale by leaps and bounds, as opposed to meeting with a prospect cold. I always look at a company's annual report and their 10K and spend time researching presentations on the web that were actually delivered by the key stakeholders and executives that will be making the decision. This enables me to understand their goals, their challenges, their ideologies, pipeline projects, etc. In order to figure out who's who in the zoo, I conduct research on discover.org and LinkedIn. When I familiarize myself with the company's tech stack, I reference sites like builtwith.com. And other sites such as Detective by Charlie, Demandbase, and LinkedIn help me to unearth relevant topical information quickly. Lastly, before I'll actually sit down with a prospect, I follow those stakeholders on Twitter and their company on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter so that I can learn what they comment and care about on social media. Today, information is easily available, so there's no reason for a salesperson not to be able to ask those deeper probing questions that will help both the seller and the prospect. Perhaps the most important piece of advice that I can offer is not to be lazy in the preliminary stages of your sales cycle. The job of the salesperson, it's dramatically changed over the past 20 years, particularly the last 5, where we've seen the pace of our sales cycle slow way down. And there's been a huge increase of easily accessible information and more sales process than ever before. Salespeople are trying to figure out how to close deals faster, take advantage of the knowledge available, and perfect their own personal sales process down to a science. However, what remains the same is that customers buy from genuine people, and the quickest way to earn their trust and that trusted advisor relationship is by understanding why they are looking to make a change, why they are motivated to make a change, and why the company is actually going to fund the change. Early in my sales career, I created my own sales process, which featured what I today believe to be the most important step in any sales process, and that's discovery. I typically would develop an in-depth list of questions, taking a very personal and conversational approach with my prospect. My natural curiosity and passion would always propel us 3 levels deeper, and this is where you begin to really uncover why they have to buy. At this time, Way back when, in the beginning of my sales career, I was selling services for a high-end, high-value computer training company. Back then, computer training was a very competitive industry with many low-cost providers. We couldn't compete on price, but we could always win on value because of our sheer size, our talent, and we took a very innovative approach to computer training. A large travel services company in my territory was looking to procure computer training for all of its 10,000 employees, and they sent out a blind request for proposal. As part of their process, we had a really short window of opportunity to question the business stakeholder. Let's call her Doris. This was my opportunity. I knew I needed to stand out from the competition. So I invited Doris to our office in San Francisco so she could see us in action. I also asked one of our lead trainers to sit in on the discussion because, after all, he would help me ask the right questions. This guy was the expert. We asked Doris questions, focus on training delivery, her company's experience with providers in the past, their need for additional support, and why. We wanted to understand what the company was looking to accomplish with this investment and what failure and success would subsequently look like to them. We inquired how she got to be the project lead and what would actually make her look good to the executives. Her answers got us excited about this project, and she could see that we were genuinely interested in helping them transform the skill set of their workforce. Our lead trainer suggested some additional criteria that would make this project so much more successful and ensure that the computer training skills would actually stick. Our 60-minute session that day grew into 2 hours as we asked deeper and deeper questions that morphed into a plan that would quickly add long-term value for their teams. That discussion was the catalyst for a long-term relationship that began with creating a champion and establishing the framework for our partnership with Doris. We continued to align the things we'd learned that day with our differentiators all along the sales cycle. And after we were awarded a multi-million-dollar contract, Doris later told me that they felt heard that first day that we met, and we gave them confidence that we would deliver their desired outcome. One can't solve problems without understanding the why. At this point in my career, I hadn't yet developed my personal sales process, but it became very clear to me that I had stumbled across a formula during this meeting that would forever change my approach to discovery. And here are a few lessons that I learned along the way. A well-thought-out discovery process, it does the following things for you. It determines whether an account is actually your ideal customer or is simply going to be a waste of your precious time and energy. It captures your customer's true needs and their definition of value, and it gives you the ability to precisely match your solution to what they ideally would like to buy. A well-thought-out discovery process uncovers a prospect's complete decision-making process right from the start, allowing you to know exactly what you need to do each step of the way in order to win their business. Now let's talk about a well-thought-out discovery process and what it actually does for your prospect. It establishes a partnership approach. It helps them to uncover what they haven't thought about or didn't know, and it establishes your credibility with them. While conducting discovery, here are a couple tips and tricks. Be warm. Develop rapport through common connections, interests, and backgrounds. You've got this one. Be genuinely curious. People know when you're faking it. Establish credibility through storytelling. Know your metrics. Know your facts. Gain trust through listening and not selling. And be honest. If you can't solve their problems, it's okay. Tell them and make a great suggestion. If they don't buy from you now, they'll buy from you later. Enter every meeting well prepared with everything you could possibly find out about that company before you go in. Take great notes and don't take them on your computer. It's distracting, it's loud. Pick up a pen and piece of paper. Don't forget to triangulate what you've learned with other key stakeholders. You'll be able to present a more holistic solution once you get everyone on the same page. Deliver highly personalized presentations with what you've learned during discovery. Remind prospects of the value to them via objection handling. Hold them accountable to what they shared with you during discovery. Let me ask you a question. What if you could create so much value in your customers' minds that they would want your solution no matter what the price? This strategy, this is how you get it done.
Thanks for listening. I also appreciate your feedback on the book, and keep your questions coming. I always enjoy hearing from you, and if you're on the mailing list, you'll find my email address there and are always welcome to just hit reply to any of those messages. Next week, I've got another epic level interview for you that you're not going to want to miss. I'll talk to you then.
Thanks for listening to the Sales Success Stories podcast. To be sure you never miss an episode, and for an invitation to our sales success community powered by Influitive, subscribe to our newsletter at top1.fm.